Welcome back to Satisfactory. Hey, the hypercannon. Let's talk about it. I've got a few tips for you on this. Obviously, the first tip I'm going to give you is you should build your hypercannon in a blueprint. So everywhere you go, you can put a hypercannon down and you can sort of bounce between locations and locations. Second tip, the faster you go when you enter the hypercannon, the farther you'll go. So that's why I always like to sprint into a hypercannon on a Mark V belt directly into the hypercannon. That will maximize your distance. Obviously, you can put too many hypercannon accelerators into the mix, so don't do that. But it helps you specify how far you go when you do your hypercannon. I don't know if that's a word. Last tip I'm going to have, a couple more actually, is whenever you use your hypercannon, make sure you have your jetpack and fuel. Obviously, you got to land. And when you build this thing, your temptation is going to be to build the last one like this and then have one last entry point. But for whatever reason, that can cause issues with your exit. So what I do is I delete the last one like that, and then I just build it facing in. And for whatever reason, that makes it so you don't get stuck on this last point. Otherwise, you'll hit all of these and then you'll just get hung up right here. I don't know why, but that fixes that. And then the last tip I have is consider putting these little signages next to your hypercannon, and then you can specify the amount of energy you have, right? So if I want to go back to the coal power plant, I can hit it from here. But if I just want to go to the starter factory, just go max speed, enter it right there. And it's kind of a more chill experience, right? I could theoretically slow down and do a bunch of work and do a lot of angling, but this way I can just make it back to where I was. And then I have this is my first hypercannon, so it's extra long because I wanted to go halfway across the map. So there you go. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That was about 5 hypercannon tips. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.